So, folks, it's time for us to talk about Donald J. Trump and the fracturing coalition of conservatives. Because, as I talked about just a handful of days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene's sudden departure from Republican politics is not going to come without a cost. And in fact, Donald Trump, while potentially 8 years ago, may have been able to strong-arm the rest of the coalition to stay together should Marjorie Taylor Greene have departed then. He does not have the ability to do so now. He is shambling, he is broken, and he is a shell of his former self. Which is, of course, not to say that he was working with that much beforehand, but let's take a look at where we're at. How is the Republican coalition doing? How is Donald Trump doing? And let's see where it takes us. Now, of course, I wanted to start out by just recapping a little bit of how we got here. And I couldn't think of any other team better equipped to do that than, of course, the best news channel in Colorado, 9 Next. Let's take a look here. That's right. We're heading over to Kyle Clark's outfit, folks, because they just do the best local journalism in Colorado.
If you take President Trump at his written word, Democratic Congressman Jason Crow committed seditious behavior punishable by death. The president attacked 6 Democratic Congress members today, including Crow, for a video they produced telling military members they can refuse illegal orders. Trump called it seditious behavior punishable by death. Marshall Zellinger reminds us that this rhetoric is all too familiar here in Colorado.
President Trump calling for the ultimate punishment for 6 members of Congress, including Colorado Democratic Congressman Jason Crow. That punishment? Death. On his social media platform, President Trump wrote, "Seditious behavior punishable by death." He's referencing this video with Crow and 5 other Democratic members of Congress.
The threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Those 6 Democratic Congress members either served in the military or as intelligence officers and had this message for current members who are serving.
You can refuse illegal orders.
In their video, the Congress members allude to National Guard members being sent to U.S. cities like Memphis and Portland.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
The video does not make a specific claim of an illegal order given by a superior or even the president, but it led Trump to post on social media seditious behavior at the highest level, calling them traitors and to lock them up. Then
I do have to just say here, when I initially saw that video, I did not think it was worth putting a segment together about members of Congress putting out something like that. It's good, but it's relatively innocuous in the grand scheme of things. Donald Trump's reaction to it, though, makes sure that everyone knows about their advice to, not follow illegal orders. It genuinely, we're Streisanding effect this video now at this point. It is great.
this post, seditious behavior punishable by death, defended by the White House press secretary.
To suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should...
Well, to defy the chain of command, to not follow an illegal order. Because, guys, I don't know if you guys know this. The reason why we have as a policy that soldiers shouldn't follow illegal orders is so that they don't have the excuse that they were just following orders. It is directly taken from the excuse given during like the Nuremberg trials for why various soldiers followed orders to commit crimes against humanity and the Holocaust. We wanted to make sure that our soldiers would not just thoughtlessly do similar atrocities.
be held accountable, and that's what the president wants to see.
If seditious behavior or treason punishable by death sounds familiar, well, here's why.
That is the definition of treason, and he should be hung by the neck until he's dead.
That's far-right activist Joe Altman calling for the hanging of President Biden.
I want to send the media to the gallows, the mainstream media to the gallows, radical leftists to the gallows, traitors to our nation to the gallows, and they all kind of fit in the same bucket.
We've also heard it from election denier Sean Smith at a 2022 event at a Castle Rock church.
If you involved in election fraud, then you deserve to hang.
And now you're seeing it written by the president, even if his White House spokesperson is trying to play damage control.
And I don't lightly say that these guys are like the best local news team out there that I'm aware of.
And, for the record, this is not the same chain of command used by Bubba during Trump's non-existent interactions nowhere in any FEs.
Saki Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But I love that this news team makes a clear through line of like, hey, this is language and messaging from like bottom of the barrel, far right fringe podcasters, and it has made its way up to the President of the United States.
Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful.
For Next, I'm Marshall Zellinger.
You'll notice...
What news team are we watching? We're watching the 9 Next news team out of Colorado. It is the Kyle Clark news outfit.
You did not hear from Congressman Jason Crow directly. Now, Crow spent today speaking with national media outlets while his office told us he did not have time to do an on-camera interview with us today.
So, all that being said, let's see. Now, that was a few days ago. You know, Donald Trump had this crash out and then kind of went quiet about the whole issue until, well, yesterday, where he once again, he got rizzed by Mamdani, of course, adopted Mamdani's aesthetic, walking around in a Mamdani cosplay, and now he's back on his bullshit. Many great legal scholars agree that Democrat traitors that told the military to disobey my orders as president have committed a crime of serious proportion. The traitors that told the military to disobey my orders should be in jail right now, not roaming the fake news networks, trying to explain that what they said was okay. It wasn't and never will be. It was sedition at the highest level, and sedition is a major crime. There can be no other interpretation of what they said. If that I guess that's true if you ignore illegal orders. If you ignore one of the words in the phrases that they were saying, I guess. Again, he's being a salty baby about the entire thing. It's truly insane. Just many great legal scholars. AKA Stephen Miller told him to say it was sedition and disloyalty. Like Stephen Miller was like, shh, no, baby girl, no, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. It was sedition. Look, it was sedition. Look, I'll even write your tweet for you. Okay? Shh, baby girl, I got this. God. Is he too stupid to understand that a president can give an illegal order? He might genuinely not think... He might genuinely think that the president cannot give an illegal order, that anything the president orders is legal. Which, no, actually. And of course, this has now escalated to a bullshit investigation launched by Pete Hegseth and the Department of Defense. The video made by the seditious six was despicable, reckless, and false. Encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Their foolish screed sows doubt and confusion, which only puts our warriors in danger. 5 of the 6 individuals in that video do not fall under the Department of War jurisdiction. 1 in CIA and 4 are former military, but not retired, so they no longer are subject to UCMJ. However, Mark Kelly, retired Navy commander, is still subject to UCMJ, and he knows that. As was announced, the department is reviewing his statements and actions, which were addressed directly to all troops, while explicitly using his rank and service affiliation, lending the appearance of authority to his words. Kelly's conduct brings discredit upon the armed forces and will be addressed appropriately. I know that's not how Pete Hegseth sounds, but I felt like it's the vibe of how he sounds. Now, of course, a bullshit scam investigation into Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly has, of course, responded almost immediately with this statement. When I was 22 years old, I commissioned as an ensign in the United States Navy and swore an oath to the Constitution. I upheld that oath through flight school, multiple deployments on the USS Midway, 39 combat missions in Operation Desert Storm, test pilot school, 4 space shuttle flights at NASA, and every day since I retired, which I did after my wife Gabby was shot in the head while serving her constituents. In combat, I had a missile blow up next to my jet and flew through anti-aircraft fire to drop bombs on enemy targets. At NASA, I launched on a rocket, commanded the space shuttle, and was part of the recovery mission that brought home the bodies of my astronaut classmates who died on Columbia. I did all of this in service to this country that I love and has given me so much. Secretary Hegseth's tweet is the first I heard of this. I also saw the president's post saying I should be arrested, hanged, and put to death. If this is meant to intimidate me and other members of Congress from doing our jobs and holding this administration accountable, it won't work. I've given too much to this country to be silenced by bullies who care more about their own power than protecting the Constitution. End of story. This man's service record is pretty damn near impeccable. You know, like, trying to pick a fight with this guy who genuinely, like, you know, you might criticize him on a number of different things, not being progressive enough, etc. But, like, dude is one of those guys, one of those military guys that genuinely did swear an oath to the Constitution that he is 1000% ready to, like, lay his life down for. Like, dude is 10,000% ready to, like, go to bat for the Constitution and fight this administration with his fists. You know, like, he's not going to be scared. He literally strapped himself to the same rockets that blew up Columbia. Threw himself into space. Like, okay. All right, yeah, you try and intimidate that man. Okay, yeah, uh-huh. Now, all of this is happening, right? Donald Trump and the Trump administration are trying to pick a fight with a literal rocket man, and they are trying to intimidate him. Meanwhile, what we're left with the departure of Marjorie Taylor Greene from mainstream politics for now is a number of, like, MAGA influencer types that are just absolutely losing whatever riz they had. Here's Candace Owens. Just today. I'm told that payments for assassinations are running through the club's Descent in France. This means there is a paper trail, and I encourage the patriots of France to do what you can do to uncover it. I would again like to stress that there was a French female assassin, but also a male Israeli assassin that were selected to kill me. These are joint state operations. Now, to break that down a little bit, Candace Owens has been transvestigating the wife of Emmanuel Macron for the last several years. And that has now brought the First Lady of France to the point of sending, like, cease and desist letters. They are suing her in court, etc. And Candace Owens is now trying to allege that France and Israel are colluding to have her assassinated because she's getting too close to the truth. And the truth is either that Brigitte Macron is secretly a trans woman, or that Israel and France colluded to assassinate Charlie Kirk. It changes on any given day. Now, the question is she a scammer or just batshit crazy? My money is on scammer. My money is on scammer, and there is also a possibility of scammer who went too deep into the scam and is now also going crazy. You know, getting high on your own supply, I believe it's called. It's genuinely like genuinely insane. Okay, and well, like no, but that's it, right? Like the entire Brigitte Macron is secretly a trans woman thing is just a wedge issue to get people locked in to the conspiracy theory. Like, oh yes, they're all lying to you. All of the authorities are lying to you, and she's secretly a trans woman. It's also why like she is now saying like the moon landing didn't happen. Like she is grabbing at all these other conspiracy threads. And it's genuinely disturbing, but she's one of the biggest and most influential folks out there for MAGA at this point. Now, I bring this up because these are like the warriors that the MAGA movement has when it comes to their influencers at this point. Like Daily Wire is on the decline. You know, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, they're on the decline right now. Steven Crowder is on the decline. Even Brett Cooper is like stagnant at this point. Like all of these content creators are trying to figure out how they can continue to, reap the benefits of being MAGA content creators. And they're just not finding their angle anymore outside of pivoting directly into anti-Semitism, which is what, by the way, people like Tucker Carlson are doing. Part of the issue here is that the political power is shifting. The places their audiences are right now are shifting. Because one of the reasons you don't, as a content creator, like a Candace Owens, one of the reasons why they don't just pivot right away into anti-Semitic like conspiracy is because they want to maintain a large audience. You only pull the Alex Jones and pivot into the conspiracy zone when you have literally nothing else to lose. When you know that you need to keep the craziest people on lock for your career to like continue going forward, right? And it is interesting to me that there is the doubling and tripling down into the conspiracy zone, the conspiracy singularity. And she's taking her audience with her, right? She's trying to future-proof what she's doing. Does Candace Owens have friends she can confide in? I don't think any of these people in that kind of world have real friends. The same way she was friends with Kanye. Like, no, she doesn't have friends. She has acquaintances she uses and are convenient at any given time, I want you to put together the kind of the picture we've been painting together with these different data points, Donald Trump crashing out, trying to pick fights with members of Congress who frankly could kick his ass physically and mentally, on bullshit charges. As the Epstein files continue their process of rolling out in the next couple weeks. And you also have MAGA influencers pivoting towards super, super conspiracy. All that indicates to me that something has shifted and we are going into a period of time where there's a very real possibility that the Republican Party just disintegrates. Maybe not entirely, but in chunks. And I say this because Punchbowl News has reported, and take it with like a grain of salt, of course. But Punchbowl News has reported that more things might be coming down the pipeline. All right? This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. All. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high-profile, the regular rank-and-file random members are more upset than ever. Sorry, not even the high-profile. The regular rank and file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel and they will lose the majority before this term is out. This is Republicans in Congress speaking on condition of anonymity. If that's true, if that is true, it is extraordinarily interesting, and it lines up with a lot of the things that we've been seeing happen in this administration. I mean, you've got the transportation secretary going out and doing a whole PR campaign about how people need to like dress better to be on the plane. You've got some of the largest MAGA influencers talking about how like, oh yeah, no, France is trying to have me assassinated for my thoughts on Brigitte Macron. It's just a clown show utterly divorced from reality at this point. And all of this to say, we're in an absolute wild, we're in for a wild time. We're going to see some wild shit happen. Yeah, Punch Bowl News here. Again, the quote is from a senior House Republican, again, speaking on condition of anonymity. If this is all true, they are fucked. If we start seeing early resignations, they are fucked. And this is why you guys need to start joining your local Dems. You need to start joining your local Dems, join your local DSA, and start influencing your local Democratic races, because when the Republicans are screwed, chat, that means the fight for better policies needs to happen inside the Democratic Party. That is what is going to need to happen. So if you want to make the Democratic Party better, you got to join your local Dems. You got to join your local DSA. Yeah, we need to seize the moment. Exactly, Comrade Girl. Now, if you need help doing that, join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help joining your local DSA. And make your DSA more effective. Radicalize your local Dems to better policies. Okay? Yeah, many of these Republicans are already running as Democrats now. Yeah, which is why we need to make sure they don't find purchase in our communities. Now, as we look at all this, is Trump capable of actually holding the coalition together? Let's take a look at a couple of his recent appearances to see how he's doing. Here he is, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what event this is at, but let's listen to him talk here.
So I look forward to working with you, and we'll be here for 3.25 years. For the Trump, that's like an eternity. You know, for somebody else, that doesn't sound long, but we love doing it. We love, we have an expression, make America great again, and that's what we're doing beyond what anyone even thought possible. So I look forward.
So, a couple of things about this clip. One, obviously, he called himself the Trump. He called himself the Trump. And number two, he's lost his ability to ad-lib, because you can watch this entire clip, look at his body language.
With you, and we'll be here for 3.25 years. For the Trump, that's like an eternity. For somebody else, that doesn't sound long, but we love doing it. We love, we have an expression, make America great again, and that's what we're doing beyond what anyone even thought possible. So
in this 20-second clip, he looks away a total of 3 times, as far as I can tell, from his script. Because what he has on this podium here is what he's reading from. He's not ad-libbing here because he can't ad-lib. The issue here, guys, is that his brain is going. His brain is going, and like he has to read all of that. And number 3, as Liz Galahad notes, he acknowledges that he is not going to get a third term. Okay? So we have like a narrowing of the possibility window. He's no longer being like, "Oh, we'll get a 3 term." His brain is done. And like, this is a guy who yearns to not be on a script, but he can't go off script now because he gets lost and confused. He is done. All right, let's take another look at a recent appearance real quick here. Let's take a look.
We want to take you out now live to D.C. That is where we see President Trump about to make keynote remarks this evening at the McDonald's Impact Summit, where franchise owners from all over the country are at this summit right now. So we are going.
Wowee, the McDonald's Impact Summit. Look at him. He's genuinely happy for the first time in his life.
To be listening to President Trump remarks on the economy. Of course, we'll probably talk about his brief stint as a McDonald's worker on the campaign trail in 2024. Let's listen in here on Live Now from Fox.
I hate to turn that phone, that beautiful song off, but let's get to business, right?
God, he sounds like such shit.
And I want to congratulate you that you are with an incredible company, and I'm thrilled to be here with the men and the women who are really the heart and soul of one of the greatest, most admired, and most successful companies in the history of the world, frankly, the one and only McDonald's. I've gone there a couple of times. And I'm honored to stand before you as the very first former McDonald's fry cook ever to become president of the United States. And I actually was there for about 30 minutes, and that was 30 minutes longer than Kamala was there. Despite her job at McDonald's, that didn't work out too well. And the person at McDonald's that informed us off the record that she never worked there, whoever you are, we appreciate that. That was very nice. But I want to thank, you know, the famous Sundar and Sergey Brin. These are two guys that own and run a place called Google. They called me the following day after I did that McDonald's little skit, because it wasn't a commercial. You got it for nothing. It was a skit.
Oh. No, Mr. President, we thought you actually were working there. We thought, wait a minute, Donald Trump, I thought you were actually working at McDonald's. Okay. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. Like, he's just like, hey, by the way, did you guys know it wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was the magic of acting. You guys all thought I was really a fry cook. I wasn't. It's called acting.
And they told me that, and I didn't know them. I said, who are they? They own Google. I said, that's pretty good. That's not bad. And that it received more hits than anything else in the history of Google, and that records, it still stands. So congrats.
That can't possibly be true. That can't possibly be true. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it's absolutely it's absolutely false.
Congratulations on allowing us to use it, but you made a very good deal as usual. But you know, in the old days, McDonald's and many others would call me to do this kind of a thing, come over and say some words and talk, and they'd pay me millions of dollars. Likewise, they'd do it, they'd call others, only superstars, and they'd pay them millions of dollars to speak. And as president, I'm doing this damn thing for nothing, okay? And you know what?
Wow, a president showing up for a speaking event and not being paid cash money for it? That's how noble of you, sir.
Because it's you, it's an honor to do it, and it's an honor to be here. It really, the job that McDonald's has done is incredible.
Yeah, no, exactly. If you pay the president to be there and give a speech, it is in fact called a bribe. Exactly, Seth Panfil.
The one that you're doing. But as you may have heard, I'm also one of your all-time most loyal customers. I really am. Well, other, I think that's good. I'm pretty sure that's good. While other politicians fly around on campaign planes stocked with expensive catering, on Trump Force One, prior to ascending to Air Force One, which is quite a nice plane also, We served only McDonald's almost every time. On occasion, we couldn't find one, which is pretty hard to believe.
Are you kidding me? Can I get anything other than a Big Mac? Not on Trump Force One, baby!
We'd go another route, but we really did.
God, we'll go another round of Big Macs for the boys.
Fed us very well, and I even got Bobby Kennedy to eat a Big Mac.
I remember that picture. Wait, God, can we just... This is the worst moment of RFK Jr.'s life. Just the worst moment he has ever experienced.
And he told me he loved it. He didn't want that publicized. He told me he loved it. I thought it was great. I want to thank McDonald's chairman and CEO, Chris Kempczinski.
Really? He told me it was his new favorite food. He was going to eat it every day. I haven't checked up on that, but I bet he does.
Who I just met backstage, I guess gave him a little piece of my speech signed. I said, do you want to keep this? You can either hang it, you can give it to somebody, you can throw it away. I don't care. But I don't stay on the speech too long anyway, so usually those speeches aren't too accurate what I give.
Yeah, usually I'm just full of shit. Ha ha ha.
But McDonald's USA president is here, Joe Erlinger. Joe, wherever you may be, thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Good job, along with everyone from the International Franchise Association, which does really fantastic work. I've heard from many people you do a fantastic job. So thanks as well to two former McDonald's operators now serving in Congress, Representative Kevin Hern and Chuck Edwards. Are you here, fellas? Come on, fellas. And they're warriors, those two. They're warriors. Thank you very much. Great job. And, of course, let me thank the people who truly keep the McDonald's magic alive, the incredible franchisees, and you got a lot of them here tonight. Yeah, and you're the heart and soul, and they would tell you that all the time. They tell me that. You carry on the commitment to what Ray Kroc said he wanted from every McDonald's restaurant, perfection. Have you heard that? Perfection. That was very strong. Ray liked to say that if you think small, you'll stay small. And that's why no one thinks bigger than McDonald's, not in your industry, and probably never will. I don't know if anybody can ever catch you. I doubt it. Every single day you feed an incredible 1% of the entire world population, 70 million meals every day. An amazing 1 in 8 Americans works behind the counter of a McDonald's franchise at some point.
This is genuinely really weird, right? Like, the vibes of this are just of him, like, croaking out endorsements for McDonald's as, like, he's like, you're the biggest. No one can ever beat you, sweetie. Like it's, I don't know. It's like the rustling and crackling voice of the grave.
Point in their lives. Yeah, we heard about that. I heard about that. Wasn't true in that particular case, but for tens of millions of our citizens, the road to the American dream starts beneath the golden arches, beautiful golden arches. So to each and
the beautiful golden arches, like, come on.
Every one of you, thank you and congratulations on 70 years of American greatness. Congratulations. And, I just might add, this is also the golden age of America because we are doing better than we've ever done as a country. Prices are coming down and all of that stuff. And, they talk about different terms for that. But I will tell you that nobody has done what we've done in terms of pricing. We took over a mess. We had the highest, think of it, the highest inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years it was the history of our country. And now we have normal inflation. We're going to get it a little bit lower, frankly. But we have normal. We've normalized it. We have it down to a low level, but we're going to get it a little bit lower. We want perfection. You always want 1%. I don't know if anybody knows. You don't want 0. 0 can be bad. Then you start going the other route. That's no good either. Then you say, what's worse, deflation or inflation? But we have it almost at the sweet spot, and prices are coming down on different things. One of your groups that you admire, I admire, Walmart, came up last week, and they announced that Thanksgiving this year is 25% less, all of the accoutrements.
Now, what's really interesting to me about all this is that, obviously that was Fox Live Now, their live broadcast. Now, this was only 7 minutes long, but would you believe me if I told you that the actual video itself from the White House is in fact 50 minutes long? Now, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but it's pretty telling where Fox cut the live stream. They just played them out and cut it early.
3 times. Actually, that Raising Cane is unbelievable. The whole group is unbelievable. And they went in, and I brought them into the White House, and I brought them then into the Oval Office, the pilots, and we met them, all handsome. They look like Tom Cruise.
Man, I bet you brought a bunch of young men who look like Tom Cruise into the Oval Office. Gonna relive some of the good old days with Bubba, huh?
They really do. I don't want to be a wise guy and say, but taller. I'm not going to say that. No, they're perfect specimens. I mean, these guys.
Jesus Christ! Stop talking about the men.
Guys are like, for a movie, I could take everyone, put them in a movie, and I said to him,
"I'll make you a star. I'll make you a star. I can't tell you where I'm going to release the film, but I'll make you a star."
So what's the story with that raid? Did you expect, because you remember I pulled it back? Because I saw reporting that we're going to be leaving at a certain time. And I said to the general, is that not good that they think that? And they sort of got it right.
All right, he's doing the Raising Cane story. Let's.
So this is amazing. So he's not so happy with this, but it's all right. But think of it, farmers especially, where they'd have a farm. And the expression, the land rich, cash poor a little bit, but they have a great, wonderful thing and a way of life that they wouldn't change with anybody, not even a franchisee, right? They don't want they don't want a McDonald's. If they have a farm, they love their farm, just like you love what you're doing. But the farmers were dying, leaving their farm to their children. The value of the farm was high. They'd go out, they'd have a tremendous estate tax or death tax, and it would so much. I mean, the percentage is crazy how high. They'd end up losing the farm in bankruptcy. They'd go out and borrow all this money to pay the tax, the estate tax. They'd put a mortgage on the farm, and they'd end up losing the farm. Many of them committed suicide. They would commit suicide. It was such a horrible thing that was happening.
Just I need to really reiterate here. He's talking to a bunch of McDonald's franchise owners. He's talking to a bunch of McDonald's franchise owners, and why the fuck would millionaire owners of McDonald's franchises care about farmers committing suicide because of the death tax? Because they had to pay taxes on a wealthy farm that they inherited. How is any of this relevant? It's not. That's kind of the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that this man is just gone. He's just gone. He doesn't know or care why these people are in the room. He barely maintains that they are associated with McDonald's.
And we've ended, think of that, the death tax, the estate tax on the small businesses. So I hope you're around for a long time. You don't have to think about it, but it's a great thing for your family, and it's a great thing for longevity. You treat your franchise just like a farmer treats his farm. You love it. I know you're there early, you're cleaning it, little touch of paint here or there. There's a little spot on the ceiling, drives you crazy, right? It's, it's love. It's love for what you do.
Oh, Lesaya, thank you very much for the $2 super chat and the compliment.
It's amazing the job you do, too. I see it. I've been in plenty of McDonald's that clean beautifully. You must have some awfully good incentives because they are really amazing places, the job that's done. But upon taking office, I signed an order requiring that for every new regulation 10 old job-killing regulations have to be eliminated. So if we put in a new regulation, then we get rid of 10. Otherwise, you don't get the new regulation. And, we got rid of the drip, drip water. We call it the drip, drip, where drip drips out of the sink. States with tremendous water, so much water.
What? See, this is what I mean. Like, you'll be listening to, like, his brain is gone, guys. He's, like, coasting along on momentum, and he's just like, we call it drip, drip. The drip, drip water. That's what we call it, the drip, drip.
Water, were drip, drips new regulation. And, we got rid of the drip, drip water. We call it the drip, drip, where drip drips out of the sink. States with tremendous water. So
that needs to be a song. Yeah, honestly, it kind of has some bars.
So much water, they have nothing but...
Wait, what's the cadence?
Regulation. And, we got rid of the drip, drip water. We call it the drip, drip, where drip drips out of the sink.
We got rid of the drip, drip water, where drip drips out of the sink. I don't know. It's got a good rhythm there.
States with tremendous water, so much water, they have nothing but problems getting rid. They had restrictions on water. It comes down from heaven, right? They had restrictions on water. So you want to wash your hands, or like me, I want to wash my hair. I lather up, then I turn that, and there's no water. The water's drip. They put a restrictor on. I won't mention the third item in the bathroom.
Yeah, they put a restrictor on your shower so that it doesn't drip. So it doesn't waste the water, because like, yeah, the water falls out of the sky, but it needs to be purified and turned into like drinkable, usable water, so that like we don't get poisoned by like brain parasites and shit. With a drip drip here and drip drip there, old MacDonald had a franchise, E-I-E-I-O. Indeed, Dragonfly, you got it.
Because I always get criticized. I used to mention that, but I don't mention it anymore because you know what I think you do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you shouldn't be owning a McDonald's franchise. You wouldn't do well even with a McDonald's franchise. But no, the water restrictions totally lifted. All restrictors are gone.
Cool. Anyway, they had to move the entire... They're having to move the entire city of Tehran because it's out of water. Just, I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows that. But, yeah. Moving capital and obligation as Tehran sinks. Drinking water is increasingly scarce, and they're moving a city of 15 million people. The ground underneath the city is, like, slipping further and further down. And they have less and less water, and the crisis has now reached the point where they're moving 15 million people to the other side of the country. But sure, yeah, let's get rid of all those water regulations, am I right? That couldn't possibly happen here in the good old US of A.
And it's interesting, your dishwashers were covered, right? You had no water. I was with some of the people that make them, Whirlpool and others, and they said, sir, they won't give us the water to use in our dishwashers or use in our washing machines. The washing machines have no water. I mean, it's like a glass of water, half a glass of water. We need water. And I said, how bad is it? He said, well, like the dishwasher. They put the dishes in, and they just keep pressing the button, they end up using more water. So I gave them, as you know, unlimited water. Biden came back with a rigged election, and he immediately restricted the water again. 37%. You're so freaking lucky. You are so lucky.
Be grateful to me.
There you'll find good people doing honest, beautiful, hard work, and happy families sitting down to a really great meal. Because no matter who you are, everyone loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like the fish. I like it.
Why'd you make that sound? Number one. And number two, are the employees making a livable wage? No. Fuck McDonald's.
You could do a little bit more tartar sauce, please. Seriously. I hate when I say, do you have any tartar sauce? Do you understand that? Yes, I have. He understands that. Together with hardworking Americans like you, we're going to pioneer new heights of prosperity. We are doing better as a country right now. and people are seeing it. The Wall Street guys know it. The stock market hit its all-time high 48 times in a row in 9 months, 48 times during the 9-month period. And we're hitting the highest stock market we've ever had in history. All markets, all three.
Yeah, that's certainly not a bad side of a bubble, say, keeping our entire economy afloat.
All markets, every one of them, has hit all brand new highs. It's a good time to be making this speech, because when you make one of these speeches, if you're doing lousy, it's not good. And the stock market, you can say what you want, but it's a hell of an indicator. It's really a hell of an indicator, and your stock is doing phenomenally. But the stock market has hit an all-time high 48 times during the last 9 months. And we're going to pioneer new heights even from that. These new heights of prosperity are going to be incredible. We're looking at affordability. We're going to bring it down for everybody, because not everybody understands the fact that a great stock market is great for everybody, including 401ks. The 401ks hit the highest number that they've ever been 2 days ago. And that's a lot of people. So they understand what's going on. And we're going to make...
Man, I'm sorry, any of the people who work at McDonald's get 401ks. Fuck you. Oh yeah, think of all of your workers with their 401ks. I'm sure they're all doing great. They're all investing in their 401ks. Highest number ever. Uh-huh. Isn't McDonald's stock plummeting? Yeah, it's down over the last 6 months.
The American dream, two words that you didn't have. You didn't have those 2 words. Remember when Biden said, it's all about 3 words, the American dream. You don't want to ever get in that situation. But
yeah, you never want to get in that situation with the American dream. You only want to be in the situation of American dream.
That was not good. It's all about 3 words. American dream.
I mean, bros. He just understood in real time why Joe Biden said 3 words. Let's play it back.
Years ago. And that's a lot of people. So they understand what's going on. We're going to make the American dream 2 words that you didn't have.
The American dream, 2 words that you didn't have.
You didn't have those 2 words. Remember when Biden...
You didn't have those 2 words under Biden, because Biden was talking about 3 words.
Said, it's all about 3 words, the American dream. You don't want to ever get in that situation.
Because, understand, guys, what just happened here. The mental processes that just happened, right?
The American dream, 2 words that you didn't...
2 words that, and then he wanted to try and shift that into being remember Joe Biden? Joe Biden was old and he thought American dream was 3 words. You never want to be in a situation where you have a president that says the American dream is 3 words instead of 2 words. He was trying to throw shade at Joe Biden here, but in real time understood suddenly what Joe Biden meant, because he's having trouble counting to 3.
We're going to make the American dream 2 words that you didn't have. You didn't have those 2 words. Remember when Biden said, it's all about 3 words, the American dream. You don't want to ever get in that situation. But that was not good. It's all about 3 words, American dream.
Because then he does that. It's all about 3 words, American dream. He's having so much trouble counting in this one clip. The American dream, 1 word, 2 words. This man should not be president. The brainworms are getting them.
Ah, the worms are back. Ah, the worms are back.
But possible, and you're going to make it really possible for millions and millions of people. And you have an administration that's got your back. You don't have an administration that wants to put you out of business, that wants to take away your water, that wants...
Yeah, you all know all of the McDonald's that stopped existing under Joe Biden. Remember how under Joe Biden we didn't have McDonald's, and now under Donald Trump we have so many McDonald's? Oh wait, we have the same number of McDonald's. Okay, cool. Anyway, this is of course another way. Like, is Donald Trump capable of holding it
47?
together? And the answer to that is no. Here's Donald Trump speaking at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum.
From 7 billion to 47 billion, it would be that. So we would lose business, countries and companies and people would flee our country. They would flee, and all of the other things would go up. In other words, would end up with a shell of a country, and I'm being nice when I use the word shell. This country would have been in big trouble, and I don't want to get him in trouble, but that gentleman right there, the most respected man in the room, that's today because we're here. Most respected man, I have to say that. Don't worry, when I'm with other countries and the leaders sitting there, I say the same about them. Don't worry. Don't get carried away. No, the most respected, one of the great leaders, he told me when I was in his country, he said, and I use it all the time. Sometimes I refer to him because I have great respect for him. I figure it sells better. But he said exactly these words. He said, it's amazing what you've done. 1 year ago, your country was dead. And now you've got the hottest country in the world. You were the first one that said that.
God, he's just repeating phrases he heard uncritically from Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. It's crazy. This man sat down and goofed and guffawed with a guy who ordered a journalist, a resident of America, tortured and dismembered in a hotel room for being critical of him. And this is how this man reacts.
And all of a sudden, you feel even better. So, and I think we're only going to go in one way. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. President, have you approved the export licenses for advanced chips to Saudi Arabia? The export licenses?
We are working on that. We're negotiating that right now. Marco, do you want to talk about that, or Scott?
Okay, well, I mean, that's part of what we may have announcements on that later today. But that's what we've been working on is the mechanics by which something like that could be achieved. And it's part of the broader process, part of this broader engagement and cooperation between our two countries.
Certain levels of chips. Yeah.
And for the Crown Prince, Your Royal Highness, you're talking about $1 trillion of investment. Could the kingdom continue to do that with oil prices in the mid-60s?
Yeah, we are not creating a fake opportunities to, please America, please President Trump. It's real opportunities. For example, when you ask about the AI.
Yeah, we certainly wouldn't be keeping oil prices cheap in order to appeal to Donald Trump. Ho, 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 ho.
And the chips. Saudi Arabia have a huge demand a huge need of computing power, and we're gonna spend in the short term around $50 billion by consuming those semiconductors for our needs in Saudi Arabia. And with the agreement that we're gonna have with North America, that will allow us to focus that consuming power in the short term by $50 billion from North America, and long term with hundreds of billions of dollars in the long term. So there's a lot of real opportunities that fit to our needs in Saudi Arabia and fit to our investment strategy.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office.
Who are you with?
Why should Americans trust you?
Who are you with?
And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful.
I do want to say, props to that journalist for asking such a pointed question. It is nice to be reminded at times that American journalists can, in fact, ask questions with teeth. Also, props to her for asking such a pointed question to a guy who, last time he was challenged by a journalist, had him, again, tortured and dismembered in a hotel room. Like, that takes actual courage.
Decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was
just glazing a man who, again, abducted an American resident who was working for the Washington Post back when that meant a damn, and tortured and killed him. Like, just, they brought him into a hotel and he never came out in one piece.
Extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about, whether you like him or didn't like him.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like him. Notably, the guy you're sitting next to who ordered his execution.
Things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guests.
He ordered it. He knew everything about it. And, like, Donald Trump is just, like, frantically trying to glaze this man. It is embarrassing. It is disgusting. This is not, by the way, it's flagrantly obvious that he is doing cover for a murderer. Like, it's super obvious, right? Like, this is, a man like this is incapable of holding together the Republican coalition.
By asking a question like that.
Just yes, Mr. President, you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, the families of 9/11.
Yeah, also, just in case anyone's curious about that, Saudi Arabia 9/11. Yeah, just as an FYI, Saudi Arabia is highly implicated in 9/11. 15 out of the 19 9/11 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. The 9/11 Commission that investigated 9/11 concluded that a significant amount of the funding received to do 9/11 came from Saudi charities and private donors. Those private donors were also members of the Saudi royal family, which I want to remind you all, the bin Ladens were one of the royal families of Saudi Arabia. So, like, there's a reason 9/11 families are upset that he's there. Like, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry, but you get to this point where you have, I think there's one more point coming up. I'll hold back until we finish this.
And I've used your name hundreds of times. I use your name, I say that King of Saudi Arabia said. But anyway, but it's true. We were a country that was in really bad trouble. We were a country that would have been dead, I believe, within a year or 2 years after the election. We were headed in a very bad direction. And now we're headed in the best direction, I think, that we've ever been headed. According to the USDA, Turkey is down, think of that, 33%. And I'm not talking about the country of Turkey. He's doing fine. Erdogan is doing good. Just want to, I don't want him calling me. I'm not down 33%. He's a friend of ours. We got to take care of our friends. Since March, egg prices are down 86%. Think of 86%. Many other prices are down in a similar number. When I first came into office, my first 3 days, I had a news conference, and they started screaming at me. Those people, that's a lot of people back there. Look at all the fake news. They started screaming at me, eggs, eggs. I didn't know anything about it. I said, what?
Dude, like, he's attacking the entire reason working class people justified voting for him. It's crazy. He's like, I don't even know why they were talking about eggs. Yeah, who gives a shit? Groceries? Never heard of her.
What's going on with eggs? They're up quadruple. I said, I've only been here for 3 days. And we'll work on it. And we got them down very substantially. They said, don't buy eggs for Easter. At the White House, we have an Easter egg hunt. We buy thousands of eggs. The people come from all over, thousands. They asked me, sir, would it be possible this year to buy plastic eggs? I said, I'm not buying plastic eggs. The kids are going to pick up an egg. They're going to, what the hell kind of an egg is this? And we bought maximum number of regular eggs, and we got the prices. Brooke Rollins did a great job, Department of Agriculture. She did a fantastic job. And eggs are way down now. Mortgage rates are down despite the Fed. I mean, Scott, you got to work on this guy. He's got some real mental problems. No, there's something wrong with him. It's just sweet. I'll be honest, I'd love to fire his ass. He should be fired. Guy's grossly incompetent. And he should be sued for spending $4 billion to build a little building. I'm building a ballroom that's going to cost a tiny fraction of that, and it's big.
Yeah, also, you're building a mostly empty room. You know, the comparison of like, well, small, so therefore cheap. Sometimes you build something small and you need it to do a specific thing. If it's a ballroom, you just need it to be a large room. But also, like, he's still, like, trying to get Jerome Powell fired from the Fed. Like, he's just like, he doesn't know why he got elected on the issue of eggs and affordability and groceries. Like, he just doesn't know any of this shit. And you think this guy is capable of holding together a Republican coalition when the scuttlebutt is that Republicans are going to start resigning midterm to avoid the embarrassment that is coming in 2026. Like, it is... I mean, it's fascinating to see for sure, but, like, my God. He's spending his time hanging out with wealthy dictators who torture and murder journalists while praising them and defending them in every way possible, as if they remind him of his long-lost love, Bubba. And not only that, he's, like, going out there and, like, trying to relitigate old feuds he has with Jerome Powell and like being like, yeah, I don't know what affordability is. I don't know about eggs. And on top of that, you know, you have him going to like the McDonald's forum and just being like, yeah, you guys all, you know, all your workers love 401ks. He's just completely and utterly out of touch with anything that matters to working people. And like, obviously we all know that. But, like, he can't count anymore, guys. He can't count. And his brain has turned to such mush that, like, he's now being like, yeah, no, I'm not going to have another term. Because he knows he's on his way out. He knows it. And everyone around him knows it. And he's trying to pick fights with, like, Mark Kelly, a literal astronaut hero. And, like, call for his execution and launching sham investigations, and he's losing the sham investigations he's already launched against folks like Comey and Letitia James. He's, like, not doing so hot, guys, and his biggest supporters online are like just spiraling into conspiratorial nonsense. Like Candace Owens is future-proofing her career by going full Alex Jones. But like, it's not going to rally the mainstream of American society to like Donald Trump's side when they're living in like a completely different reality from the one the rest of us live in. And the only thing that tethers all of us to the same reality is the economy, which is in the shit right now. It is not good. Like, the only reason the American economy hasn't collapsed at this point is because of AI companies. The Magnificent Seven, they call them. And like a month or so ago, those AI companies accounted for like 40% of the US GDP. the second that bubble bursts, and I'm guessing that by now it's like 50% of the US GDP. When that goes, the majority of the US economy is going to go with it. So it's like everything that he is touting as like, oh yeah, no, we're totally fine. Everything's better than it's ever been. It's going down the tubes. And like, he's made the everyday lived economy worse for everybody with his tariffs. Like, small businesses and mid-tier businesses are having to close because of these tariffs. This is all just utter nonsense and bullshit. And he is incapable of holding any of this together.
If you take...
It is going to be... I mean, like, this is all going to be in history textbooks, and this is going to be on the level of Caligula naming, like, his horse a Roman consul. You know, like, this is going to be on the level of Nero fiddling while Rome burned. Like, it's just nonsense. And it is destroying our futures. And all of this is happening before the Epstein files even release. And this is where I'm going to go into a little bit of speculation. My speculation is that a lot of Republicans in the House that are rumored to be exiting midterm are going to do so either right before or right after the Epstein files release. I think that is probably going to be one of the major out opportunities where Republicans will be able to feel like or say that they saved face by leaving politics when that happens. So I think what we are in for over the next few weeks is just some absolutely insane nonsense in a desperate attempt to steal the spotlight from whatever is coming in those files come like December 15th, December 16th, you know, somewhere in there. It's gonna be interesting to say the least, but suffice it to say, I don't think Donald Trump can hold this coalition together. And with all that being said, if you got anything out of this segment, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the stream with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your dogs, your cats, your acquaintances, your lovers. And also, please consider dropping those subs, donuts, memberships, super chats, etc. Support the stream financially if you can. And finally, if you're interested in lingerie designed from the ground up with trans femmes in mind, check out Gender Euphoric Lingerie from Imogene Olivia. Genuinely the best underwear I've ever had, the best lingerie I've ever had. And more styles and such will be coming in the near future, but check it out. There is a link in the description below. And with that, let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.